All right. So, taking this from the top, page 1, number 1. Each C-sharp control has an average of 80 properties. The control class provides the definition for GUI objects. That's 2 questions on the test. So number 1 is 80 and control. Number 2, a link label is not, there's an is and an is not, there is not the parent of a label. Its default color is blue. Its purpose is to let you link to other resources, typically a web page. Doesn't have to be, but it normally is. Number 3, C# does let a programmer create his or her own colors. You know that because you've done it already. If you wanted to, if for some reason Amin really wants all of his buttons to be blue to match his shirt, he could do that. All right? You can do that kind of stuff if you want to. So it's does. Number 4, if needed, a scroll bar is automatically provided for a list box control. So number 4 is. Number 3 was does. Number 4 is. Number 5, I told you this was going to be on the test. A lot of you wrote this down before, but it's the same thing right out of the book. I'll leave it up there for a minute. I think that's one of the fill in the blanks. Could be wrong, but I believe it's one of the fill in the blank questions. And it's spelled wrong, of course. That's right. Number 6, how is drag and drop used when designing a form? Well, this is what I've been telling you. You could create a label, and we saw how to do that before, but it's much easier to just drag one out there. Which class is used to change the appearance of printed form text? The font property. So that's 2 different questions again on the test. Number 7, kind of long. So again, that is 1. That's 1 question. That's 1 question. That's 1 question. And that's 1 question. Looks like I didn't answer all of them. Which character is used for the hotkey? Just so you know, I'll put that one here. That's the ampersand. Oh. And this one is check changed. Sorry about that. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, it just, you have to know which method it is. But you're right, yeah, to be complete, it should have been there. So again, that's 4 questions from the test. So that's 10% right there. Everybody has that one? Well, I didn't do a very good job of filling this out. Does everybody have that one? Here's number 9. Number 10, again, another kind of long one. It's not 10, 11, 12, that's 10. And Valeria, I'm not upset, but not at all. But I wasn't real comfortable with you asking that question with your hair. That was why I said I. No, no, it's okay. That's why I said I'll answer it later. But yes, I just don't want to be called into her office asking me what was that. No, I gotta watch this all being taped, and we're not doing anything illegal. So, all right, everybody has that one. Okay, number 11. The default for a menu option, like a button, is the click routine, and by default, the help option is on the far right, way over here typically. All right. Number 12, widgets. Again, I'm 99.9% sure that that's one of the fill in the blank ones that's on the third page. They give you a real long thing about it. But just remember, controls and GUIs are also known as widgets. 13, every class, directly or indirectly, you've seen this on other tests. The object is the big kahuna, or whatever you want to call it. It's at the top of the hierarchy. Even exception. Exception is a child of object. Number 14, the color class is used to control colors. Would make sense. Number 15, the picture box control is used to display graphics, images, whatever you want to say. You saw that in action just a little bit ago. Number 16, the image property sets the image in the control. In the last one, and I'll leave that up there again, is just those definitions. Many of you have already keyed that stuff in, but just so you have it. I've got to make this smaller so that it all appears on screen at once. Sorry, I know that's a little bit small, but hopefully you can read that okay. So again, the test on this, the written test, will be Wednesday. right, does everybody have all those? Okay, I'm going to write something up right in front of you right now, so. Okay, last week I gave you the hard copy for program 1 at the end of chapter 11, the subscript exception test. We're not doing any more with that. Number 2 we did as a class. So I'm going to ask that you complete that. So that's the mortgage application. So I'm going to ask that you finish that one up. All right. We also did, as a class, number 3, the find square root. So I'm going to ask that you complete that one. Okay. Number 4, we did part A as a class. All right. That was that order exception demo. I want you to complete that one. And I think what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to show you the other part, but I'm going to give you a hard copy of that. All right? And I'd like you to do that too. The one I want you to work on, so all the ones that we've done so far, you've got hard copies or we've done as a class. But I want you to do number 5, the book exception demo. And the reason I want you to do that is if you don't do that, then you're going to get something more similar to that for your final test. And it'll be a lot harder than doing it as an exercise. Yes, I want all of it done, A, B, and C. All right? So what I'm going to do is just take a couple minutes and go over a possible answer for 4B, but I will give you a hard copy of that so you can use that as you're working to try to, to answer these questions. So I'm going to close that. I don't need to save any of that. So this is order exception demo 2. Again, don't worry about writing anything down. You'll get a hard copy of this in just a bit. But I wanted to show it to you. Now, the order class, we did this last time. That's nothing new. Those are the same 6 constants that we had that we looked at last week. Nothing new there. Our variables, nothing new there. But last time, we really didn't do a lot of object-oriented stuff in the program. Now in this one, there is. So I'm going to move this over. All right. I'm going to make it a little smaller. There. So first thing we do here, and you should be used to this kind of stuff by now. It's not exactly the way we did it for the test, but it's similar. There's the constructor. So the constructor expects that you're passing in an item, a quantity, and a day. What we're told in our specs is if all 3 of those values that get passed in have a 0 in them, you create a brand new object, all right, but it's just a default one. So that's all you do is you just print that out. Otherwise, you've got to make all your checks. That should look familiar to you from the last one we looked at on here. All right. If the item number is less than 100 or it's greater than 300, you throw a new argument exception. If the quantity is less than 1 or the quantity is greater than 12, you throw a new argument exception. If the day number is less than 1 or it's greater than 31, you throw a new argument exception. If you get down to this point, everything that you tried to do for validation worked. You didn't throw any exceptions. So it all worked. What that means is take all those values that you passed in and assign them to the actual objects themselves and then print it out. But if you look on the screen here, this is where it's different. Now, we've got a getter. All right, for our item number, we've got a getter for our quantity, and we've got a getter for our order date. We don't have setters. We've already handled that in our constructor. So we don't need them. So we got getters. So all of our property stuff is read-only. And then when we get back to the order, or to your program, if you look, because this is what you've got to do for number 5. All right. Still trying to do all those try-catches. Did I bring the right one up here? I think I did. I don't see the array. So something's goofed up here. Hold on a second. Well, whatever I've got up here isn't the right one. But you're going to get a hard copy of it in just a minute. Okay? And that should help you when you're working on that stuff. I wanted to give you some time today. I didn't want to just go for 4 hours. So you can have the rest of the period, the last hour of the period, to start working on this. But again, if you look up on the screen here, I'm going to send you all a copy of this in a minute. So your homework for Chapter 11 will be A, B, and C. All that. We did the mortgage application in class. We did the find square root in class. We did the order exception demo in class. I'm going to give you the hard copy for this, but this one you're doing on your own. Part A, Part B, and Part C. They're very much based off of the order exception demo. All right? And again, tomorrow, like I said, we'll go over an example or two, some GUI examples for no later than 10 o'clock, so no more than an hour for each one. We'll go through probably 2 examples. And I'll give you your homework for Chapter 12 as well. All right? And then Wednesday, we'll have the test. All right? So Wednesday will be the test, the written for Chapter 12. Okay? Whatever we said. You saw the stuff before. Like I said, don't worry if you've written this down, fine. And if you haven't, I'm going to send it to you anyway. I'm literally going to grab this file, save it, and email it to all of you right now. So again, tomorrow, some examples in lab. Wednesday, written test in lab. Thursday, lab all period. So you're getting a lot of lab this week, so everyone should be able to turn in all of the homework. Remember, the homework for 9 and 10 is due today.